at the junket of The People Garden with the director Nadia and actress Dree. So this is a Canadian indie film. And can you tell me what attracted you to the role, Dree?
The script was really what attracted me to this role. It was so beautiful, and I really liked the character Sweet Pea and her kind of waves of different emotion throughout the film. But it was really the script, and the forest, and it was interesting, and it was new, and it was something I'd never read before.
I read about how you kind of came up with the story. You learned about this Japanese garden or the forest in college. So can you tell us a little bit about how this movie started?
There was this kind of like a very off-kilter book called The Complete Manual of Suicide. It's very dark, but also oddly like satirical or like black humor. And I was studying it in a Japanese cinema class, and I read about the forest, and I was very haunted, by it, and very curious about it. And I was writing this kind of romance that I felt like it would be very interesting to have those two kind of dichotomies of like this very, very sad, foreboding place, and yet people trying to find love within that and trying to figure out themselves. But, for me, it was just really about this character, Sweet Pea, and watching her go on this emotional journey from being this kind of person who thinks that she knows herself to becoming more and more vulnerable with herself.
How was working with Miss Pamela Anderson? She's like an icon in the 90s, and now she's back on the big screen.
I really respect her as a woman, and I think that she's doing a lot of great things for animals, and I think that she is very talented.
She's an incredible person that I feel like people don't really know, because she's a lot different than her public persona, in a lot of ways. She's got this like very keen awareness of like arts and like modern art and like cinema and literature. She's very like articulate, and she's so kind and cool, and she's just really up for anything. Like filming this, when you're making independent cinema, you don't have a ton of resources, and she's like one of the biggest stars in the world, and she was like, yeah, hang me from the rafter and like put rain on me, I'm like up for it, I'm having the best time of my life. She's really like keen to like make film, and she's super talented and lovely human.
So was this actually filmed in the Japanese garden that you talked about earlier?
I think it would be pretty disrespectful to film there, probably, just based on kind of what what happens there. And so I think also, you want to create a place that almost like can be relatable to everybody, and it becomes its own type of place in a way. So we didn't shoot there. We went to Japan. We shot at the base of Mount Fuji, where the forest is located, but just outside of that a bit. And I think it just would have been like a very heavy experience to like be there and be filming.
Did you get to experience the forest at all? Did you check it out?
I felt like I was too close to it in some weird way to actually like go in, and it was also, they give tours around there.
This really brought like life and different ways to it. So you really captured a different view in this movie. Was that what you wanted to do?
I think we are a little bit tired of like the status quo, and with independent cinema, you get an opportunity to play with genre, to play with characters, to play with things that we don't normally get to see. And again, like for me, creating a role for a female that was like a little bit different. I think that we see a lot of females like going from being vulnerable to being strong these days. And I wanted to do a little bit of the reverse, where like the strength was in her vulnerability. So she kind of starts off feeling like she knows what she's doing, and then throughout her experience in the film, she's becoming like softer and more raw and more like vulnerable ultimately. So I don't think we see these types of films, but that's kind of what, why I think we're all, making it, is to challenge a little bit what exists and create art and keep that kind of dialogue about what is a movie and how can movies be told and how can stories be told.
Thank you, ladies. This movie comes out soon, so make sure you guys check it out.